There's three things you're going to have to ask during the day, and don't come to the mountain until you know. He said, one, the thing you want to do, is it selfish or not? Second, is it in harmony with God's will? You need to know that. And the third question you need to know is, once you find the answer, you'll never look back. No matter what, don't look back.
Don Coyhis, Mohican Nation, is the president and founder of White Bison, Inc., an American Indian nonprofit organization located in Colorado Springs. After a campaign to raise awareness and treat alcoholism among Indian youth on the reservations, White Bison's mission expanded to include drug addiction, dysfunctional families, and relationships, as well as the American Indian suicide rate. From this, the Wellbriety Movement was born. The teachings of Wellbriety go beyond being sober to include thriving in the community and being balanced emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Over the last 26 years, Don Coyhis has developed a series of culturally based programs addressing recovery and treatment, youth prevention and treatment, programs for healthy families, and healing from unresolved grief and traumatic loss due to intergenerational trauma. These programs are designed to help with all facets of family healing and have been implemented throughout the United States and Canada. Don Coyhis was the 2009 winner of the Purpose Prize Award, which was created in 2005 by Encore.org, with funding from the John Templeton Foundation and the Atlantic Philanthropies. Don Coyhis has been called upon to provide technical assistance by national policy organizations such as the White House Office of Drug Control Policy, SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, as well as other national recovery organizations to develop prevention and recovery programs for Native American and Alaska Native communities. We apologize for technical difficulties with the audio in this piece.
I went to interview for, it was for a company that wanted me to go down and work for NASA. And I couldn't believe all what was going on there. So anyway, they hired me, and it was my first time I was on an airplane, and I, flew different places and did a lot of training. So I worked down there from Apollo 6 to Apollo 13, and it was, and I think I would have worked for nothing. Coming from where I come from, to working this engineering thing and putting a man on the moon, and I did not know I was smart. It wasn't a difficult thing for me to do. But along with that, there was a drinking culture. I really went downhill very, very fast, in Florida. When I was about 4 years sober, I came out of a meeting. I used to not like gratitude meetings, but I was in a gratitude meeting, and whatever was said there, it made me realize something. And I came out of that meeting, I sat under a tree, and I was having a conversation with the Creator, which I do sometimes. I'll just say, you know what? And I said to myself after that meeting, I said, you know something? You're 4 years sober. Really 4 years sober. You didn't cheat, you didn't lie, you didn't sip. You literally made it 4 years, which all I ever did was lied and cheated. And I had this moment of an experience, and I thought, how, if I could get sober doing this, could the other Indians get sober doing this? And I got really tearful, and I said to the Creator, I said, I know I'm not supposed to pray for myself. I know what it says that in the big book. You're not supposed to do that. I said, but I said, if you would allow me to carry this message to my people, I said, we both know what that is. I said, if you will allow me to do this, I said, I won't retire. I said, I'll spend the rest of my life till I take my last breath. I'll carry this message, and I'll try to not say no to nobody. And so in a very short time, all of a sudden I lost a job. My life just collapsed. It just, and I thought I had done something wrong, and I had all these opinions, and yet it was just the Creator's way of of helping. So I went to Johnny Looking Cloud. He was my mentor then. I said, I don't know if I was supposed to be doing this or not. And I was explaining to him about what was going on. And so he took me up in the mountains, and he said, I want you to do this ceremony. And so he gave me some sage and some eagle feather, and I was on this place, and I was trying to do this prayer, finally I said, I laid down my eagle feather, and I laid down everything, and I said, okay, God, we just got to talk shit. I said, I just really mixed up on because I had a job. I was paid a lot of money, and I had a company car, and I had stock options, and I had family and rent, and I had all that stuff, So Johnny Looking Cloud, he said, there's 3 things you're going to have to ask during the day, and don't come to the mountain until you know. He said, 1, that thing you want to do, is it selfish or not? And he said, so that's what you stay up here. You find out, think through what you're doing, is it selfish or not? He said, 2nd is, he said, do you think it is in harmony with God's will? You need to know that. And the 3rd question you need to know is, once you find the answer, you'll never look back. No matter what, don't look back. The way that I was raised with Grandpa, there was no time for, I didn't date, I did my schoolwork, everything was by lamps, there wasn't like a big deal. So I never drank until I was about 2 weeks from graduating from high school. I never drank all that time because we were busy hunting and subsistence. We lived off the land pretty much. We had our own gardens and our own vegetables and our own food and everything. So that was my first alcohol, was just where I graduated from high school. The first beer I drank changed my life. The effect from that was I was a shy person, never asked a question in school. That night that I started drinking that beer, things changed for me, and I liked it. I secretly wanted to be like whatever, and when I drank that booze, I did. So anyway, that changed everything. Then I got interested in girls, and both of those are blessings and curses, figuring all that stuff out. Then I went to the university. I had, in high school, I had this counselor. We got bused from the Indian schools to the white schools. And when I was a junior in high school, they had career counselors. So this counselor, it was my turn to go in there, and he asked me, well, what do you want to do when you get out of high school? And I said, I want to be an engineer. And he said, boy, have I got a deal for you. And he went into the file, he brought it to his cabinet, and he said, there's an 18-month program. He said, you Indians are really good at working with your hands. He said, you're just talented that way. And he said, I want to send you to automotive mechanic school. You can go there and you can fix cars for your people. That's what we're going to do. So I bought the paper home, and I told Grandpa, I said, you have to sign this paper. I said, they're going to make a school for me. He said, well, what kind of school? I said, automotive school. And he said, but I thought you wanted to be an engineer. And I said, well, Grandpa, this is a guy he knows, he's a counselor. So Grandpa went in his bedroom, and he got his eagle fan, and he got some sage. He made me stand up, he smudged me with this sage. And when he got done, he said, that man don't know you. He said, I know you. He thinks you can only be a mechanic. He's wrong. So he put me in his car, but he took me down to a university. He said, this building, this is where you're going to learn. That was how I got into engineering. Prior to that, I've been a mechanic. There's always been a kind of a guidance, I've had, along the way. One of the teachers there, he took me under his wing, and he he helped me to practice the interview. I went to interview it was for a company that wanted me to go down and work for NASA. And I couldn't believe all what was going on there. So anyway, they hired me, and it was my first time I was on an airplane, and I flew different places and did a lot of training. So I worked down there from Apollo 6 to Apollo 13. And it was, and I think I would have worked for nothing. Coming from where I come from, to working this engineering thing and putting a man on the moon, and I did not know I was smart. But when I got down there, my mind I could see the flow. I could see how it all worked. It wasn't a difficult thing for me to do. But along with that, there was a drinking culture. I really went downhill very, very fast, in Florida. When I was done there, I was offered a job in Patuxent Naval Air Station up in Maryland. That's where they were developing the planes that would vertically take off and landing planes. So I worked there, and then from there, I got an offer to come work at the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. I worked at the Air Force Academy for 7 years. Then I really went downhill there. That's where I bottomed out and started to lose all those things that was valuable to me. All the things Grandpa told me I was supposed to take care of, they were taken.
Tell me a little bit about anything that you want to tell me about the traditional stuff that you rely on for sobriety.
When I got into recovery, I would go back to that same place where Johnny Looking Cloud had me do that ceremony. And there, during that time, I had 3 visions. So the difference between a dream and a vision, in a dream you're always in your own dreams, in a vision you're not. But there's a feeling there that you'll recognize. So I had three dreams. One was at that same place, there's a slope ground, and all of a sudden the ground started to glow. And very slowly this object started to rise out of the ground, and it was a white buffalo. It came all the way up, and then it turned, and it looked me, with black eyes, looked me right in the eye. Just a real strong connection. And black hoofs, and it looked at me for a long time, and it slowly went back down in the ground. I wasn't that long in recovery either, So I went to Johnny Looking Cloud. He said, this is what's going on. He said, if you was a Christian, he said that would have been an angel come and said, you're being called to do something. But he said, because of how you are, he said the angel shaped itself into a buffalo, a white buffalo. And he said, when it looked you in the eye, that means it wanted you to, you're being called to do something. I had no idea what all that meant, but that's when all those things started to happen. The next dream vision that I had was there was a beam of light come down, and all of a sudden this tree started to grow in that beam of light. And it watched it go through the seasons, spring, summer, fall, winter. So the buds unfold and the leaves, and then they fell off, and then all the branches fell off, and that stem rose up really slowly, went horizontal, and it bent into a circle. Then in the north, there was this little ball of light. It started to flow down towards that hoop, and it bent down to the ground, and when it came up, it turned into an eagle feather, and it attached itself to that hoop. And then it would happen to east, south, west, north. It continued to do that until there's 100 feathers on there. And so I took that to Johnny Looking Cloud, and he said, you need to go up north and see the elders. So I went up there, and I thought I was just seeing one elder, but he invited his friends. There were 17 elders all together, and boy, I was scared when I walked in that living room. They're all sitting there, and then I had to give them a pipe. That's part of what that community, if you want elders to tell you, you got to load a pipe and smoke that pipe with them. So I give them that pipe, and then when it was done, he said, tell me the story about your life. And here I'm a drunk. I had nothing good to tell him. I just screwed up everything I ever touched, And so I said, well, I'll tell you. So I told them everything. I lost my family, and I told them about recovery and all that kind of stuff. So about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they come to me, and he told his wife in Lakota, said, bring you the sweetgrass. So she brought in the sweetgrass, and he smudged me with the eagle feather and that sweetgrass, and he said, we've been waiting for you. And then they all make, they all make that noise of affirmation. And he said, you had an experience when you was 12 years old. That's when you was chosen. And he said, so you went on this journey. He said, you were reading the Creator's School. All the alcoholism, all the loss, all those things. He said, that's what you were supposed to do because you were getting prepared for something. When I got done, he said, you need to build that hoop. And the white buffalo calf was born in Janesville, Wisconsin. And he said, when that hoop is done, you bring that hoop up by the white buffalo calf. And he said, you're to bring in 4 traditional elders, 4 elders from the direction. Bring in black elders, yellow elders, white elders, and red elders to the gathering up there when you bring the hoop up there. So we brought elders from Africa, yellow people from Tibet. We had found a white tribe in Finland. We didn't even know about them. They're called Sami people. They're a tribe of white people, and they keep your reindeer. And they got their own language, and they got a drum, and they sing just like us. People around them don't like them, just like us. So we got along really good with them, and then we had our own people there. And they did a ceremony, and they said, we're in the healing time. And they said, we're going to put 4 powers in this hoop. And it will be like a radio tower. It's going to constantly pulse out these gifts that we're going to put into this hoop. So the first power they put in there was the powers to forgive the unforgivable. The second was the powers of unity. The third was the powers of healing. And the fourth was the powers of hope. So they said, forgiveness is going to be one of the things we got to do. We've done a lot of damage to each other. And then we got to work together. The red, yellow, black, and white. We're going to work together. Days coming when you're going to do that. And a healing movement's going to take place. So when they come to this hoop, people will all of a sudden change their hearts and say, I got to heal myself. I got to go into healing. And then the hope is for the dream, the vision. So that was done. Then they said, we're going to make you the keeper of this hoop for the people. And I said, you guys don't know this. I said, I'm a drunk. I said, I've just been sober about 4 years. I said, I'm trying to get my family back. I said, if you could see on TV what it goes on in here, I said, you would not let me even touch an eagle feather, much less make me a keeper of a hoop. And so they talked it over, and they said, we need you to straighten yourself up because you're going to have to keep this hoop. And it's for the people. This isn't yours. So this is what it means. They said, whenever the people ask for this hoop, you have to go take it to them. That's theirs. You can't say, I have no gas money, I ain't got no money. When they say, when you want to go into healing, bring that hoop, then I have to go take it there. So since that time, I've traveled over 200,000 miles. People ask me all over Canada, all over the United States, Alaska, and they can't fly. Because some nights it'll cry. I'll be sleeping in that hoop, I'll hear the eagles screeching and it'll be crying, so then I got to get up and, like a baby, I got to take sage and do all the feathers and, calm it down. It's something's, going on with it. So that was actually used as the beginning of bringing recovery to our native communities. So when that was done, we made 4 journeys across the United States. One, we ran from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. 4,294 miles we run. Stopping into communities, saying recovery's coming, we're in healing. By then we had taken our AA's 12 steps and we put them in a circle. That's more like the culture. And so we made 4 journeys, a southern journey, northern journey, and then we realized there's about 65% of our people live in cities. So we took east of the Mississippi, we made a journey around to the urban Indians. West, we made a circle around to the native communities living in the cities. Talked about recovery, healing's coming, and that was the beginning of our involvement in the recovery movement. But I had no idea that it was going to go that way, and I had no idea it turned out like how it's turning out. I had no idea what spiritual power was behind that, because I never ever thought the Creator would use a drunk to do any kind of spiritual work. But what I found out is the only ones I know is drunks is doing spiritual work. It's us. We're the ones, making it happen. So that's kind of the way that's been so far.
Don, what's left for you in your life's work?
To me, it's sustainability. I know I was blessed with certain traditional knowledge. The elders took me under their wings, so I videotaped. I've trained people. We trained over 20,000 people on the videotapes with sustainability to keep it going. And so I think my part is to keep recording. We've written books about the journey to keep that going. Enough to hand on to the next generation that'll keep it going. I don't know. You get to a certain age and you don't know how many winters you're going to have left. I have messed up a lot. All my kids are sober. All my grandkids are sober. My daughter, with that journey we made across the United States when she was 16 years old and 2 days off of meth, I pulled her out of school and I took her on that run across the United States. And today she's running our organization. Now she's just really doing very, very well. And so when it comes time for my time to go fishing, I think it's sustainable. Everything is in place. They'll do a ceremony and bury me, but the movement has a life of its own. You couldn't stop it. You can't control it. So all we try to do is be of service to it. We just try to. It says this is what I need, and then that's what we try to do next. So my goal is sustainability. Nature has a sustainable system. It has a way of duplicating itself.